God, I'm sorry. I miss you. Let me come back. And it's going past the words and going to the actions that matters. Some of us are losing our community with God. We are. We might have a great community of people outside of our relationship with God, where we can go talk to people, we can go hang out, we have a pretty good social life. Loneliness isn't a thing with people, but it is with God. Because our relationship with God has taken this hit because we're not having community with God. We're not sitting here, we're not read our Bible in weeks. We haven't prayed past, please give us food. Thank you for this food. And this community with God is suffering. My encouragement there is, if that is the case, it's time to fix that. Because outside of having community with God, like we're not going to be doing good at all. There's nothing that we can do that's going to make God happy past giving him our relationship with him. It's not going to make God happy for us to not have community with him. He created us and says it's not good to be alone, but yet we're neglecting the very person that created us. If that's the case, it's time to step up and just say, God, I'm sorry. I miss you. Let me come back. And it's going past the words and going to the actions that matters. Because if we don't have community with God, that means we're neglecting our prayer life. It means we're neglecting our Bible study. It means we're neglecting even following what God has planned for us in his will. It's really time just to stop it and say, what's my priorities in life? Am I going to make my priority with God, my community with God, a priority? Am I going to do it? Or am I just going to keep living the same way and just say, hey, I'm giving mouth service, I'm going to say it. Do you know, there's been studies to say, if you tell people your plans, in your head, it's already triggered it, saying that you've already done something for that. So a lot of times when we say, God, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start reading my Bible every single day, God. I'm going to start praying every single day, God. And that's where it stops. In our brains, it's triggered that we've already done something like that. We need to get past that trigger and actually do it. We need to do it because we can say all day that I'm going to do something, but the moment until you do it, it's not a reality. So I'm going to encourage you all today that right now, if that's you that's struggling with that community with God, that you just make this commitment, that you will commit to spending time with him in prayer, reading the Bible, and seeking out his will. Commit to that, and as you commit to it, make sure that you take the steps to do it. It's like when a person starts a diet, you have to rid your house of all the junk food. You have to take a step to make sure it's right? I usually rid my house full of junk food by eating it and then start my diet the next day. It's a true story. Then I don't start my diet the next day. But the reality is if you're doing this, set right now or during worship, set up a reminder in your phone. Set it, I am going to pray. And put that time, set that alarm, I'm going to pray. If it's in the morning, put I'm going to pray in the morning. Set that alarm so it'll go off. Take an actual step to do it. And when it happens, you have to do it. Make that commitment. When my alarm goes off saying I'm going to pray, I will do it. Or if you say, hey, every morning before I go to work or while my drive to work, I'm not going to have the radio on. I'm just going to pray to God during that time. Okay? Grab a Post-it note and put it right on your speedometer. For some of us, we might need to put it on the radio because some of us don't look at our speedometers. Sorry, that's me. Put a Post-it note right on the radio. I am going to pray today. Take an actual step that's going to lead to the next healthy step, to the next step, to the next step, to help us get closer to that community with God.